Greetings and salutations to one and all. Welcome to the night shift. It's Tuesday night. It's tonight to do a thing we call Healthy Love. I want to say big ups to each and everyone locked in right now, those tuned in from all over the globe, all our affiliate stations. Big ups to those across the pond. In the UK, One Harmony Radio, top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. King Genius, Queen Genius, big up. I want to say big ups to those on WGLRO, home of the Donnie Walker Morning Show. Taking it from the sheets to the streets, touching from Detroit to Denmark and all points in between. Big ups to those on One Harmony Radio. I said that already, didn't I? I noticed that I've been doing this. It happened last night and it happened again tonight. Big ups to those on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Clinton Lindsay, the man who is sitting in the air chair from midday to 3 Eastern Time. Big ups to those tuned in on PEMG TV. And of course right here at the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. So glad to have each and every one of you. I really couldn't do it without you. And you have my word, I wouldn't even try. Kicking it off with the sound of DeVille. Yeah. The track is called Burning Up. Take this opportunity to say thank you to my segment sponsor.
One time, two time, three time, rewind. One time, two time, pull up selector, rewind again. One time.
But along with saying thank you to my segment sponsor.
Rewind. One time, two time, pull up selector.
Alright, one thing at a time. Thank you to Paul C Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show. When being in a moment is priceless. Go ahead and give them a call. 754-999-6020 or visit them at paulcmg.com. Innovative streaming and recording solutions for you and so much more. Everything you see right here on kevinstew.com, they can hook you up with. If you have a website that you want to host it somewhere, even that, give them a call, tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. And of course, I want to say thanks and big ups to those on not PEMG TV, but yeah, to you too on PEMG. Those tuning in on Facebook Live, welcome, 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 welcome. You know it's not all night, so just line up yourself and get ready to jump on over to kevinstew.com. You know the thing set up. Thank you, Deville. It's called Burning Up. Alright, so we're not burning up tonight. We're hoping not to be burning up tonight. We're looking at something that might cause some fevers. The topic, the issue on everybody's lips since the beginning of the year. We're in August now. All year we've been talking about this. COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19. And we talk about it from all different angles. But yet still, we never quite have all the information. And we probably will never have all the information. We don't know, do we know all that there is to know about the flu? You know, it's things like that that why you wonder if you're going to get all the information. All we know is that the flu comes around. There's a time of the year when people get the flu most often. And they call it flu season. It's not that the flu isn't around the rest of the times. Because it is. The flu never goes away. The thing is, you get different strains of the flu coming around. And even with this flu vaccine, which again, I don't subscribe to the flu vaccine. I just don't. Because I can't see how you're going to have a vaccine for something that is ever changing. And COVID-19, for me, is the same thing. You know, it falls under the same umbrella. It's a virus. And if you check COVID-19 in March, and you check COVID-19 now in August, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some variation to the virus. Because that's what happens. It's a living thing. And it is going to evolve over time. And so it changes. Which then, you know, makes you wonder, what is it that we're in store for come the next flu season? Bum, bum, bum. So, there's another concern. The other concern is, greetings to you, 757. You take off tonight. You're a jumbo jet. The fact that, and I've titled tonight's topic around that. The whole idea that the common cold could give you a positive COVID antibody test result, and it's kind of scary. So, as it stands right now, there are 3 types of COVID-19 tests. You have the molecular, also known as the PCR, the polymerase chain reaction test. And this test detects whether genetic material of the virus is present in the sample collected from your throat or your sputum, which is the back of the sinuses. That's going back, but for those of you watching, yeah, the back of the sinuses. You have the antigen test, and this sometimes is referred to as the rapid test, and that detects viral proteins. Then you have the antibody test, which is also known as the serology test, and it detects the presence of antibodies in your blood. Now, The first two, the molecular and the antigen, are so-called viral tests that detect active infections, whereas the antibody test will tell if you've developed antibodies in response to a previous coronavirus infection. Not this coronavirus, but it could be a previous coronavirus. It typically takes your blood 1 to 3 weeks after an infection clears to start making antibodies against the virus in question. And that's pretty much how it goes. More of the so-called powers that want to be trying to push the vaccine on us. Maybe. And I saw something today where Bill Gates was trying to explain away the side effects of the virus, of the vaccine. I didn't quite get into it. I didn't have time to really read that article. But again, the whole vaccine argument isn't going away. It is not, because that's big business. So get used to it. I think the interesting thing, or the thing that we probably need to do, is to recognize how we can remain within our rights, which seem to be changing as the year goes along. I don't know. Good evening, Bobby. Welcome, bro. Welcome. Bobby, we're overdue for a chat. Seriously, we're well overdue for a chat. So each of the COVID-19 tests have their issues and controversies. The problem with antibody testing is that there are 7 different coronaviruses known to cause respiratory illness in humans. 7. 4 of them cause symptoms associated with the common cold. You have the 229E, the 229E, the NL63, the OC43, and the HKU1. In addition to the common cold, OC43 and HKU1, 2 of the most commonly encountered beta coronaviruses, are also known to cause bronchitis, acute exacerbation of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and pneumonia in all age groups. The other 3 human coronaviruses, which are capable of causing more serious respiratory illnesses, you might be familiar with these: SARS-CoV, MERS-CoV, and SARS-CoV-2, which we know today as COVID-19. Now, the tricky part is that the antibodies created by these different coronaviruses may appear very similar. And the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention admits recovering from the common cold can actually trigger a positive antibody test for COVID-19, even if you were never infected with SARS-CoV-2 specifically. The CDC explained on one of its tests for past infections webpage. They said antibody tests check your blood by looking for antibodies, which may tell you if you had a past infection with the virus that causes COVID-19. Antibodies are proteins that help fight off infections and can provide protection against getting that disease again. So now you've developed immunity. Antibodies are disease specific. So you have the body police that take care of viruses or invaders. which are specific to those invaders. A positive test shows you may have antibodies from an infection with the virus that causes COVID-19. However, there's a chance a positive result means that you have antibodies from an infection with a virus from the same family of viruses, coronaviruses, including the one that causes the common cold. In a July 10, 2020 interview with KTT News, Mayo Clinic Chair of Clinical Microbiology, Dr. Bobby Pritt, said, quote, "Early on we had labs using tests that have not received that U.S. Food and Drug Administration review, and some of these tests may have given you a false positive and detected the normal coronavirus that circulates and causes the common cold. I would say the vast majority have been extensively tested to show that they do not cross-react and give you false positives due to the common cold anymore." Which should probably explain the whole, oh, but I had the virus already. How is it that I have the virus again? Question coming up to some doctors. While experts at the Mayo Clinic claim these cross-reactive antibody tests were an early problem that has since been corrected and eliminated, the CDC does not confirm or deny the accuracy of this statement on its Test for Past Infection webpage. I cannot confirm nor deny. That has been the talk from a long time. So it's unclear whether the antibody tests manufactured and used today are still capable of delivering a positive result if you were recently exposed and recovered from the common cold virus. Back on April 29 of this year, 2020, infectious disease specialist and CNN medical analyst Dr. Kent Sepkowitz noted that deciphering between the common cold antibody and the COVID-19 antibody is actually a real challenge scientifically. But that doesn't mean it cannot or hasn't been done. It just means that it is hard to do. Now, on a side note, labs are now reporting a shortage of chemicals and disposable pipette tips required to perform COVID-19 tests, which means longer wait times. Again, as Scott Schoen, director of the North Carolina State Laboratory and Public Health, told the New York Times, July 23, 2020, he said, "It's like Groundhog Day. I feel like I've lived this day 4 or 5 months ago," referring back to the early days of the pandemic when test supplies were in short supply. And with a reported spike, you can kind of expect that it's going to be up again. So what do we do? How do we combat this? And right, that's just it. 757. This would explain why there are people who thought that they were immune to it because they got tested before and they were told that they had antibodies. They now have gotten, quote unquote, reinfected. So herein lies the struggle. Numbers to call, numbers to text to get into the show: 773-789-STEW. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp. You can hit me up on Skype if you're overseas and have difficulty connecting that way. Kevin.stew is a Skype handle. Of course, the stew pot is always there for you to jump on, and the water is always fine. It's where we keep things bubbling and interactive. Others would refer to it as a chat room. Kind of blah. Over here, we're kind of fancy. We call it the stew pot. So come on in, be interactive. It's a judgment-free zone. We just ask that you keep things clean. Don't sweat it. Nobody's gonna beat you down for your comments. You know, we are all here under the umbrella to have acceptance, to gain enlightenment. So this is what it's all about. Now, while the CDC warns that it is still uncertain whether COVID-19 antibodies prevent reinfection, or if it does, for how long, researchers in Singapore have presented evidence suggesting the immunity is likely to be long-lasting. Doesn't quite seem to be that way with the flu. But again, I really don't believe we know all that there is to know about the flu. So what makes us so knowledgeable about COVID-19 versus the flu? Is it because COVID-19 is more of a man-made virus? Things that make you go, So they discovered common colds caused by the beta coronaviruses OC43 and HKU1 appear to make you more resistant to SARS-CoV-2 infection, and that the resulting immunity might last as long as 17 years. Pause. Stick a pin. Hold the most dangerous part of the cow. Hold on. How exactly can they say that the immunity may last as long as 17 years if COVID-19 is such a new virus? How do scientists come to that conclusion? Is it that it is not that new after all? You know, I just kind of have to ask. Hey Peaches, how you doing? How things in the Bahamas? I just have to wonder. I have to ask a question. How do they know? And scientists will say whatever, whenever, because that's what they do. But I kind of have to ask. So the authors suggest that if you've beaten a common cold caused by OC43 or HKU1 beta coronavirus in the past, you may have a 50-50 chance of having defensive T cells that can recognize and help defend against SARS-CoV-2, as reported by the Daily Mail. Here's what they said. Scientists have found evidence that some immunity may be present for many years due to the body's memory T cells from attacks by previous viruses with a similar genetic makeup. Even among people who have had a known exposure to COVID-19 or have had no known exposure to COVID-19 or SARS. Blood was taken from 24 patients who had recovered from COVID-19, 23 had become ill from SARS, and 18 who had been exposed to either SARS or COVID-19. Half of the patients in the group with no exposure to either COVID-19 or SARS possessed T cells which showed immune response to the animal beta coronaviruses, COVID-19 and SARS. This suggests patients' immunity developed after exposure to common colds caused by beta coronavirus or possibly from other as yet known pathogens. According to the researchers, their findings demonstrate that virus-specific memory T cells induced by beta coronavirus infection are long-lasting, which supports the notion that COVID-19 patients would develop long-term T-cell immunity. Our findings also raise the intriguing possibility that infection with related viruses can also protect from or modify the pathology caused by SARS-CoV-2. Added support for these conclusions were published May 14, 2020 in the journal Cell. This study found that not only did 70% of samples obtained from recovered COVID-19 patients have resistance to SARS-CoV-2 on the T cell level, but so did 40 to 60% of those who had not been exposed to the virus. According to the authors, this suggests there's cross-reactive T cell recognition between circulating common cold coronaviruses and SARS-CoV-2. Here's a thing that is bothering me and is quite concerning. Since the advent of the COVID-19, people have been getting sick, people have been dying. But we keep hearing more and more people getting sick and more people dying. What has always been left out of the mix is the number of recoveries. Based on this information, it could quite possibly say or support the theory that people have been not only recovering but having immunity to it. And those who have been tested positive, many of them, though positive for the showing positive in the tests for the virus or antibodies as a result of the virus, actually probably just had the common cold. And we've heard the stories where doctors are being told to make write on the death certificate that it's COVID-19 as cause of death, which led me to ask that question a few weeks ago. If people don't die from other things anymore, why is it that everybody's dying from COVID-19? Colonel Horton, welcome, sir. Is long time. Long time. You guys on Facebook Live, I am going to beg of you to just jump on over to kevinstew.com. The link is right there in the description. You can just click on it and it takes you straight to kevinstew.com where the show continues. I don't stay on Facebook Live for the whole duration of the show. I just come on for a little bit. That's why it's a segment. It's a segmented simulcast. So we're going to say farewell to Facebook Live in just a few. Just to give you guys a little bit of time to jump on over as the discussion continues and the information continues to flow for the remainder of the evening. So good to see you guys. Some of you I haven't seen or connected with in a very long time. Not call no name, Devon Hunton, but much love to you and the family. I'm gonna bounce off Facebook Live in just a moment. Call a friend, tell a friend, night shift is on. It's Healthy Love right here on kevinstew.com and affiliate stations. We'll be right back.
Pulsey Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us. 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us. 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsey Media Group.
I'm Khalib Thompson.
And I'm David Muir.
And we are the co-founders of a cultural nonprofit in Florida called Island Space.
For many reasons, now more than ever, we need the support of our communities.
As Caribbean Americans, we have the unique ability to claim everyone from the island as members of our Caribbean American family.
We are working to create a home for that family.
The Island Archives will become an internationally recognized museum of history.
Visitors can learn that although we are unique, we are truly stronger together.
Learn more at islandspacefl.org.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This nonprofit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
It's Christine representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin's Stew and the night shift radio show. Yo, at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin's Stew at the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin's Stew believing, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show. Christine, just heart it up. Loud.
It's been a long time coming. Are you ever gonna change? Are you ever gonna take advice for how I'm feeling? It's been a long time running, and I know you wanna stay. So I think that it is time we live like we used to. Right all around the city, singing with the top down. Let's take it back to when we were younger. It's been a long time coming, so put on a happy face. Grab my hand so we can let all of our troubles out. There's no cares tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when it's dark and the wind light. Even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Whoa, whoa. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Oh, now you're so crazy. Oh, I'm crazy too. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Baby, don't you worry, 'cause you know I understand what it's like to be chewed up and spit out in the cold world. Baby, there's no hurry, as long as you take my hand. We can dance and I won't be the one to let you go. There's no care tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when it's dark and the wind light. Even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Whoa, whoa. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you.
The track is called Madness.
Oh, now you're so crazy.
Artist goes by the name Royce.
Oh, I'm crazy too. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you.
Hey, cuz, how you doing? I want to say thanks to my segment sponsor, Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you, brings her table, has her oils, and of course her Healing Heavenly Hands. All she asks is that you get off her table when she's done. Well, outside of paying her, of course. And you saw the picture. That was the before picture because I was unconscious when she was done. Just give her a call. 954-655-9000. Or email her at theolater@att.net. Make sure you have your COVID-19 test available to show her the results. Yeah, that's gonna happen before she comes to see you. Yeah, I like the song too. That's why I play it so often. I want to say big ups to my sister from another Mr. MJ. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Host of Melissa Jane, the Melissa Jane Show. Airs live every Thursday on Facebook Live, but don't just go by that at 9 o'clock on a Thursday. No. Check out the Melissa Jane page. You're guaranteed to leave there knowing a little bit more than you went there with. Trust and believe. I'm never short of information when I check out MJ's page. Never. So look her up, Melissa Jane, on Facebook Live. On Facebook. Alright, cool. Alright, so getting back to the matter at hand. Going back and continuing where we left off. One of the other things that some researchers are reporting is low immunity post-recovery, which now still leaves you, again, doing the head-scratching thing. The immunity issue isn't entirely cut and dry. Other research which looked at antibody levels in recovered COVID-19 patients in Germany found they lost their antibodies after 2 to 3 months. Clemens Wendner, or Wendtner, it's interesting how his name is spelled. It's Wendtner. So we're just gonna say Wetner. He's a chief physician at the hospital. Tested COVID-19 patients for immunity after they had been treated for the disease at the end of January 2020. The test showed a significant decrease in the number of antibodies. DW reported in a July 2014-2020 article saying neutralizing antibodies which stop a viral attack fell in 4 out of 9 of the patients who were tested within 2 to 3 months. Those findings coincide with a similar investigation done in China. That study also found that antibodies in COVID-19 patients do not persist in the blood. Further research is required. But these initial findings suggest that a second infection is possible. So you hear the talk, you've been hearing the talk, everybody has been hearing it, about that second wave of infections. That could be a problem. So, how do we deal with that? Okay. Got distracted by the stew pot just now. So it is quite concerning. And for those of you who want to comment, you can jump into the stew pot and do so. You can call, you can text 773-789-STEW. You can WhatsApp to that number also, 773-789-7839. Easy way to remember it is 789-STEW with 773 as the area code. Alright, so that second wave talk, we've been hearing that since, I would say, late April, May, thereabouts. We've been hearing talk about a second wave coming in the next flu season. So to be alert, be on, but nobody's saying what to do outside of, we await the arrival of the vaccine before the next wave. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. We just heard about this new virus, and now you want to bring us a vaccine, and you want us to take this vaccine, just jump in blindly and take it, just like that? My take. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's my take. I am not doing it. I'm not signing up my children for it. And if I have anything to do with anybody associated with me going to go and do that, I am stopping them whichever way I can. Short of locking them up, which would really constitute kidnapping. But short of that, I'm stopping them whichever way I can, and I'm doing so by giving them as much information as I can find to present. So it's something to consider. It's important to realize that loss of the ability to determine antibody levels may not necessarily reflect lack of immune protection, as there may be innate cell-mediated immunity that provides protection that is not being measured by the humoral antibody production. If reinfection is actually possible, then COVID-19 would behave much like a common cold and seasonal influenza, which can strike more than once, if not in a single season, then certainly in any given year. If that's the case, then the immunity passports and most other COVID-19 interventions, such as school closings and business shutdowns, become even more questionable than they already are. Again, we ask the question, why take all of these precautions? What is behind it all? The hidden agenda. And yes, I still believe there's a hidden agenda. However, I am not going to be just running into this thing all blind. No, not for me. I'm not doing that. The discomfort that I have heard some people experience, I can do without. I will live vicariously through them. That will be it for me. I don't want to experience this. I really don't. If I do, so be it. I don't want to be passing it on to anybody. But in the very same way, I don't want to get the flu either. And that too is uncomfortable. I don't like the pain in my joints. I don't like the stuffiness. I don't like the fevers. I don't like the feeling weak. I don't like any of it. Now here comes COVID-19 with an added twist. Now it's a respiratory infection. So not only do I have the chills and I have the fever and I have the aching joints and I have the feeling weak, but now I'm coughing my lungs out. And I don't like that at all. There's been many a time when I've had whether it is the cold or the flu or the cold and the flu, and when it comes to the end of it, now I have a cough. And this cough goes from that old pan truck sounding cough to a dry cough. And I'm not even sure which one is worse. Because that dry cough is like constant, and you're not coughing anything up, but you're coughing and you're coughing and you're coughing and you're coughing, and sometimes it makes you nauseous. And this is just the common cold, the common flu. So, COVID-19, I don't want it. So I stay away from it, and I don't put myself in the position to get it. Still, it leaves the question, is it as bad as it is made out to be? And if it is going to act in the very same way that a common cold or the flu has and does, then this whole shutdown of countries that we did this throughout this past year and still doing, does it really make sense? If SARS-CoV-2 ends up behaving like other human coronaviruses that cause a common cold, immunity may only last 6 to 12 months. A European study says here they did not look at SARS-CoV-2 antibodies, but rather antibodies against the other 4 coronaviruses that cause the common cold, none of which were long-lasting. According to BGR, which reported the findings, they said frequent reinfections at 12 months past infection and substantial reduction in antibody levels as soon as 6 months post-infection were observed for those viruses. If the novel coronavirus behaves the same way, then the talk of immunity passports and herd immunization, all that talk, is moot. It's pointless. A person who recovered from COVID-19 could get it again in 6 to 12 months without another vaccine shot. The researchers note that the human coronaviruses are biologically dissimilar and have little in common apart from causing the common cold. But SARS-CoV-2 doesn't have to be similar to any of them to follow the same immunity pattern. So, here comes the question again about the whole herd immunity. Is that possible? The issue of reinfection also raises question about whether herd immunity is ever going to be possible. Studies cited by the Daily Mail claim herd immunity against COVID-19 could be achieved if just 10 to 43% of people develop lasting immunity. Well, how do they develop lasting immunity? Now, this is a far cry from the percentages typically required for vaccine-induced herd immunity, which is really a misnomer, as vaccine-induced immunity doesn't work like natural immunity. And herd immunity is really only achieved when enough people recover from the illness in question. Just to give you an understanding, so that everybody's on the same page. Now, according to the Daily Mail, the concept of herd immunity hinges on people only being affected once. So that when a certain number of people have been infected with the virus already, then who's going to get infected? You can't get infected anymore. Now, it remains a mystery as to whether this is the case for COVID-19. They don't know. We don't know. But if it is, then herd immunity could offer some protection during the second wave of the disease. Researchers now say it could work to some extent if only 1 or 2 out of 10 people have been infected naturally and become immune to the disease. Another study has taken a similar line and suggested herd immunity could develop at around 43% of the population getting infected. Immunity among the most socially active people, scientists say, could protect those who come into contact with fewer others. And, you know, I get the science behind it. I really do. The question is, how solid is the science? Of course, we get information from here, we get information from there, we get information from everywhere. How solid is the science? How close to accurate is the information that we're getting? And the source from which we're getting the information, what do they stand to benefit from giving this information? That's the other side of it. Because you have those that give out information because it is the right thing to do, and then you have those that give out information because of the benefits to them for passing that information out. So that's the other side of it. Where do we stand in with the information that we're getting? You know, when you have the leader of a country saying, hey, you know, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't need to wear a mask. And then everybody around him is is getting the virus. And then all of a sudden you see him wearing a mask. That's reason for the memes, that some of the memes that we see going out. You know, the putting on a mask several months after the virus has been running rampant in your office is like getting condoms after 3 months of pregnancy. it kind of doesn't make sense. Why bother? So it's those things that we take into consideration. And we have to ask the whys and the maybes and toss those in there. But ultimately, we are the ones that need to take care of us. And if you're new to Healthy Love, like you, Peaches, if you're new to Healthy Love, then you wouldn't have heard the constant beating of the drum of vitamins and being active and getting some sun and eating right and the sources of the right vitamins that we need to build our immunity. But never fear, the archives are there. So on kevinstew.com, at the bottom of the page is the video archives. Before you get to the bottom of the page, you will see the three themes of the night shift: community and finance, healthy love, and real talk. Real talk happens on Wednesdays to close out the night shift week. Community and finance starts the week, and of course healthy love sits right there in the middle. This is where we talk about health, and we try to keep the love juicy, try to keep the health going and love juicy, because once we're healthy, then we can love ourselves. We show ourselves that we love ourselves because we do what we need to do to be healthy. And then we show that we love others because we're taking care of ourselves. And in doing so, we're taking care of them. And every now and then, you tossing some loving with the love. So that's healthy love in a nutshell for those who are newcomers. I beg to differ with your statement. It's not the country's leader. It is the country's idiot. You see, that's the joy of freedom of speech. We get to say those things. So yes, the current resident of the White House, we don't have to have the P on the beginning of it, because it just seems like someone is peeing all over the White House and the US. Anyway, we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to come back, get into our final segment before we get into our musical therapy. And we're going to look at how, again, vitamin D might play a bit of a role in maintaining our health and in the fight against COVID-19. I'm not going to get too deep into it with the vitamin D. We're going to have a little bit of an extended musical therapy tonight. But when we come back, we're going to look at optimizing vitamin D and what that might mean for us. Yeah? We'll be right back. Oh, it would help if I had this ready for us to go. Yeah, we'll be right back. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
the only thing I didn't learn in school today.
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Hey yo, this is Caramanti letting you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Don't move.
Every nurse, every doctor, every soldier, every essential we salute you. Shout out to the K-Plus heroes out there. Just know we appreciate you. Oh yeah, reaching out to the unsung heroes. We pray that God protect you. Peace of mind, giving all that we could see this true. So meanwhile we quarantine and chill. You all in America rush chill for us to be safe. So I say hooray to all the K-plus heroes out there. Just know we appreciate you. Oh yeah, reaching out to the unsung heroes without fear. We pray that God protect you. Oh yeah, guide and protect. It's strategy on the front line. On the front line. You have to put your life on the line. Sticky on the front line. Risking your life to save mine. And you're working overtime to give us peace of mind. Giving all you got so the bases align. On the front line. On the front line.
The sound of James P. The track is called K-Plus Heroes. I want to say big ups to each and every one of the K-Plus heroes. Those working on the front line in our health industry, in our food industry, in our transport industry.
Putting yourself in our way. So how could we ever repay all the K-plus heroes out there? Just know we appreciate you. Oh yeah, reaching out to the unsung heroes.
I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors for this segment. Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global will take care of your bookings, take care of your tour management, take care of your publishing, your trademarks, your business registration, your legal service referrals, music production, and so much more. Marketing and promotion. Give them a call, 954-998-8034. Or visit them at reggaeglobalentertainment.com.
You have to put your life on the line. Sticky on the front line. Risking your life to save mine. You're working overtime to give us peace of mind. Giving all you got so the pieces align. On the front line. On the front line.
The sound of James P. It's called K-Plus Heroes. His tribute to them. Big ups, big ups, big ups, James P. Much respect. I really like that song. I don't know about you, but I really like that song. All right, so as we wrap up, before we get into our musical therapy, considering the many questions surrounding the possibility of reinfection and herd immunity, there's a belief that one of the best bets to address an underlying weakness that can have a significant impact on the COVID-19 risk is vitamin D deficiency. Rather than waiting for a likely harmful vaccine, which most of the US seem to be doing, based on the amount of press that the vaccine gets, rather than waiting for this to come into play, get proactive. Start optimizing your vitamin D level. And I have addressed vitamin D levels and ways to optimize it before on other shows. You can go back and check the archives and look at that. When you go to Healthy Love, if you click on the Healthy Love icon, it takes you to all the Healthy Love shows, and you can pick one, choose and refuse one, and there's a link to the video right there, and you can go back to that show. But you want to pick up on your vitamin D levels. And you do want to get tested. Now, it is not recommended getting a viral test. That checks for an active infection, funny enough. unless you have symptoms of COVID-19 and you need it to guide your treatment, they're not recommended that you do it. Swabbing the back of your nasal cavity has its risks and can actually introduce an infection, or some speculate even some more nefarious agents. So getting tested just for the heck of it doesn't really make sense. Even if you test negative, you can get infected at any point after leaving the test site. So you walk into the test site, you test, you leave the test site, you get infected on your way out the door by someone coming in. And you get your results and it says you're negative. But then 3 days later, you start feeling sick. And you wonder what is going on. So, you know, it's one of those things that can happen. I'm not saying that it does and it will. But it can. Now, if you have to get tested in order to travel, in order to return to work, then an antibody test may actually be more appropriate. Even if your antibodies wane with time, you're still going to be immune for a while. The best tests are your clinical symptoms. If you have symptoms suggestive of coronavirus infection, then the recommendation is to start nebulizing food-grade hydrogen peroxide at 0.1%, as suggested in a video. In fact, if you go to Mercola.com, you can find this video. Now, there's a suggestion that you make sure your vitamin D levels are adequate. If you don't know your vitamin D level and have not been in the sun or taken over 5,000 units of vitamin D a day, then you might want to double up and triple up and quadruple up and try to get about 100,000 units and make sure you're taking plenty of magnesium, which helps to convert vitamin D to its active immune modulating form. So vitamin D, it's good to have vitamin D, but if you have it by itself, then you're not getting the full effects of it. You get your vitamin D, you get your magnesium, and they work together in strengthening the body's immune system. Another great option that is less expensive and easier to get and likely more effective than hydroxychloroquine would be quercetin with zinc. Believe it or not, that there has been a debate going on about quercetin and hydroxychloroquine, and you know, it's fine. Things are there to be debated. Debate them. Don't just go with whatever you hear. Seek out your own information also. So get all the information you can. Again, my job here is not to satisfy your hunger. It is to stimulate your appetite. So I give you a little bit. The rest is up to you. You know, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So I have given you some information. I have started you off on the journey. What are you going to do? Are you just going to leave it there, or are you going to take it a step further? Again, there have been an individual who have gotten sick, and many have died. But is that the end all and be all as it relates to to the virus and what we have to deal with when it comes to the virus, I'm pretty sure that's not where it ends. And if we were to check COVID cases around the globe right now, in fact, let me look. I meant to look when we were on the break, and I didn't. I did other things. So let me look really quickly. Let me pull this up. And let's see what is happening. And I don't want to look at any... If I'm not getting cases, deaths, and recoveries, then I don't want it. Here it is. I got this one result that said 18.4 million cases confirmed worldwide. 692,000 deaths. How many recovered? 11 million. In the United States, 4.85 million confirmed cases. Just about 160,000 deaths. Out of 4.5 million, 4.85 million. So how many recovered? 2.37 million. But the focus is on the confirmed cases and the deaths. So what is happening in the middle of all of that with the recoveries? How are these people recovering? What is different with those who have been confirmed and recovered and those who have been confirmed and died? The recoveries tell me that it is not a death sentence. The cases tell me that it's, one, infectious, and two, the stories tell me that it's uncomfortable. And I recently learned of a friend of mine that had it, and she's a flight attendant. She's back at work. She had it, she recovered, she's back at work. So I haven't gotten the chance to sit and chat with her and find out, what her experience was. Eventually I will, and I'll share bits and pieces of it when I do. But clearly it's not a death sentence. So why are we not getting all the information? Why is the focus on the number of deaths? And how possible is it that when we do get it, we're okay, we're free to move about the country, we're free to interact with each other, even those who currently are suffering? So now we can provide aid, we can better be of service to our family member who probably got the virus after we did. Because at that point, no, we're immune. It's just like chickenpox. You get the chickenpox one time, you're not gonna get it again. The problem with the chickenpox is that it remains in your system. Now it's dormant, and later on it can come back as something else. You don't get the chickenpox again. This is not the only virus that is dormant in the human body. And maybe, we touched on this before, we looked at it as a thought, as a theory. Maybe COVID-19 is one of those viruses that would have activated dormant viruses that cause the deaths. Maybe. We don't know. I definitely don't know. But just like when you get the flu and you die, you hear that it's the flu that, contributed to the death. Sometimes you hear cause of death is the flu, Other times you hear it contributed to that. There's always a contribution. Something contributed to it. And a lot of the cases of COVID-19 where they have died, you're hearing of underlying factors, pre-existing conditions. It happens only too often. And unfortunately, it seems to be the focus of things when it does happen. Doesn't mean, though, that we can't recover. It doesn't mean that we can't fight it. We just need to look at the old way of treating things, where we eat right, where we go outside and get some sun and run around and play, and we play in the dirt every now and then. Because these are the little things that help to build our immunity. Now we're told to stay at home and we're told to stay away from each other. I really believe that helps to weaken our immune systems. So know that when we do go out, we are going to get sick. And then we are going to be begging for this vaccine because we don't want to be sick. And boom, Big Pharma gets a big chunk of our checks. Guess you never looked at it that way, huh? Well, whether it is unfortunate or fortunate, that's how I look at it. But again, that doesn't have to be all that there is to it. At the end of it all, we could all have a lovely day. Lovely day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day.
This is the sound of the Edwards Quartet, also known as EQ.
When I wake up in the morning,
the South Florida sibling group.
And the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, Lord, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Oh, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be
siblings are Nicole and Jean, Marsha, and Andre. This is one of those tracks that I haven't heard in a long time. This is the real storm. It's called Stay. As we go through an extended musical therapy. Not very extended, but a little bit longer than half an hour. This is Mr. Ed Robinson.
To pass on to
his rendition of Love's in Need of Love Today.
Yeah, what I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love in need of love today. Oh, don't delay, send yours in right away. Oh, because hate's going round, breaking many hearts. Oh Lord, stop it please, before it's gone too far. Hey. The voice of evil plan to make you its possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If peace and love you treasure, then hear me when I say that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away.
sound of Amber Lee. His rendition of Never Found Me a Girl. I want to say thank you to GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show. GMAT Music Solutions will provide sound, light, and stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, singers, and so much more. They bring your events to life. Give them a call, 754-307-4622. That's 754-307-GMAC.
Like my baby's love, it's like burning fire.
You can also visit them at gmatmusicsolutions.com and do your online shopping there as well. Speaking of never finding someone to love you the way that that person loves you, I want to extend my deepest, heartfelt condolences to Christine Alicia and her family. Christine lost her husband, Brian. He transitioned on, today is the 4th, 3 days ago, 3 nights ago. And prayers going out to her and the family. You know, she's mourning in her own way right now. He fought a good fight, and you know his transition touched me in a deep way, because when you look at it, there are others out there who are just carelessly taking the lives of people that they don't even know. You know, before that, a friend of mine from high school was gunned down watering his flowers in Jamaica. You know, these things, it's really painful. And before that, I heard of a very close friend of the family having a stroke and passing on, transitioning as a result of the stroke. All that from the weekend coming up until now, or late last week coming up until now. You know, we need to turn to one another and really show that we appreciate love each other, because that's all we have, each other. This is Christine Alicia. The track is called Key Lock.
There's nothing that could keep me away, my love. In the dark of the night, or the heat of the fire, my love. Should you doubt what I have here, I'll take the time to ease your mind. Destined souls cannot lie. My heart waits for you. My heart waits for you. This is the key lock. Lock me in your eyes, store. Turn the doorknob. Shut me in forevermore. This is true love. No denying. together, let no man put us under. Key lock, lock me in your heart store. Turn the door now, shut me in forevermore. This is true love, what just put together.
Belinda Brady working out with groove galore.
Last summer it was late in June when we stepped back, boy. Now you can make your move. When I look into your eyes, sweet angel mesmerized. Now to
The track is called Show Me.
but when I step into your soul, I get nervous of your love. Show me what you gonna do when you hold me. What you gonna say when you touch me. Now that you know it's in me ready. Your loving love. Show me what you gonna do when you hold me. What you gonna say when you touch me. Now that you know it's in me ready. Your loving love. Temptation madly draws me closer to you. I wanna be wrapped up in your sexy groove. Trouble's gonna run me coming my way. Captivated by sweet words you say. Throw caution to the wind. Let us fly away. When I look into your eyes, sweet danger mesmerized. Now two hearts are intertwined. But when I step into your soul, I get nervous of your love. Show me what you gonna do when you hold me. What you gonna say when you touch me. Now that you know it's in me ready. Your loving boy. Show me what you gonna do when you hold me. What you gonna say when you touch me. Now that you know it's in me ready. Your loving boy. I get nervous of your love.
Deserve someone special as you. It's as if God said, here you go, son. She's the one, no question.
This is on a Code Red Band. Bobby Rose on lead vocals.
Feels so much brighter.
A track called Love You Forever. Want to extend condolences to Zemroy too and family. And the Code Red family. Zemroy lost his dad last weekend. The victim of a car accident.
Wherever I'm gonna be loving you forever. I wanna shout it. Girl, let me announce it for the whole world to know how sweet it is to be loved by the one you so adore. I'm gonna love you forever and ever, whenever, wherever. I'm gonna be loving you forever, forever and ever. My heart beats for you. I know we were meant to be. All I need is you, baby, until eternity. Until eternity. I'm gonna love you forever and ever, whenever, wherever. I'm gonna be loving you forever, forever and ever, forever, whenever, wherever. I'm gonna be loving you forever, forever and
than you take. And if you try to fix more than you break,
The sound of Gramps Morgan.
if you're
His tribute to his uncle.
takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place
And a former neighbor of mine, Mr. Bobby Digital.
like you. If you stand up for those down on their knees
His rendition of the track, People Like You.
and lend a voice to those who cannot speak. If you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who lost their way. There's a place for people like you. I've heard that the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you. If you walk around with your heart on your sleeve, and if you're trying to be the change you wanna see, if you lay down your life for love so someone could be saved, there's a place for people like you. I've heard that the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place out there for people like you.
those that have transitioned along the way. Yeah.
Youngblood Records.
Rise this morning, give thanks. This life's not guaranteed at all.
This is Phil Watkins. 12 minutes to go.
People never wake up this morning, never live to see today.
Track is called Today.
The ones who never heed judge a warning, never live to see today. Boy, let's leave a lot of families falling, never live to see today. A lot of innocent people falling, that live to see today. So if you live to see another day, I tell you don't forget to pray. Jah bless you with His mercy. Another chance to right the wrongs from the choices that you've made. Love will guide you upon your journey. Life is much better when you know what it's worth. Let every step count, let every move work. Here today, tomorrow, say your day and a deeper. So set your mind and good liberty. With that you be flirt. Waste your day seeking vanity. Flesh thing now go work. Walk fast from dirty liberty road that you know feeler. It best to wear a smile than to wear a dirty smirk. Remember we put Jah first. A lot of people never wake up this morning, never live to see today. Oh, the ones who never heed Jah warning, never live to see today. Boy, let's leave a lot of families falling, never live to see today. A lot of innocent people falling, not live to see today. Give thanks and praise, we still fortunate. Work up, spread the message, cause we still have blow breath. Life, no promise on the road where we check, but Jah never failed me yet. Rise up in the morning, giving thanks. With life, I have a special romance. Me and good health, a slow dance. Thank you, Jah, for giving me a next chance. You see the sun, you feel the breeze, you feel the forest. Not take life for granted. You live another day of a million no morning. As Jah has come, a lot of people never wake up this morning, never live to see today. Oh, the ones who never heed Jah warning, never live to see today. Boy, let's leave a lot of families falling, never live to see today. A lot of innocent people falling, never live to see today. Is it getting better?
This is the sound of Cesar. His rendition of the track One.
Will it make it easier on you now? You've got someone to blame. Well, it's one love, one life, it's one need, one night, one life. It's a share. Leaves you, baby, if you don't care for it. Did I disappoint you? Leave a bad taste in your mouth. You act like you never had love, and you want me to go without. Well, it's too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other, carry each other. Whoa.
here to play Jesus. To the lepers in your head, did I ask too much? More than a lot. You gave me nothing, now it's all I got. We're one, but we're not the same. Yeah, we hurt each
Listen, I can tell you, Cesar has a track that is coming.
other. Love is a temple. Love
Amazing music, let me tell you, boy. Ooh.
is a temple.
I can hardly wait for it.
Love's the higher law. You ask me to enter, but then you make me crawl. I can't be holding on to what you got. When all you got is word. One love, one blood, one life. You got to do what you should. One dream with each other. Sisters, brothers. One life, but we're not the same. Get to carry each other. Carry each other.
Pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up.
This is the Twiggerific one.
Pray upon it. Pray upon it. Don't you
Twiggy.
walk away.
A track called Don't Give Up.
Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. You gotta know some talent. You never borrow it, no money spent. Can't get you out, tell them don't even try. And then better go repent. Live your life as it was ordained. It will be sometimes not, but most times rain. Easier said than done when you're the one who is feeling the pain. So you have to pray upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. I am begging you to stay upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. Can't keep throwing the towel or feeling blue. 'Cause one day you're gonna end up be the victor too. Just be brave, my sisters, my brothers, I'm talking to you. Your reward will be great. To yourself will only be true. But you won't be pray upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. Pray upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. Shoop, shoop, shooby-dooby-doo. The wagon is and we won't come follow you. Give thanks for everything. Success and favor your hard work will bring. Hey. Shoop, shoop, shooby-dooby-day. Everything up we run out of your way. It's now time to win. Tear them blocks down, the back down, 'cause every time I'm them. Pray upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up. Pray upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it. Don't give up.
Only in that yellow car we do it by trust. Yeah, me not gonna lie, me have to stay focused. Only the iron can take us to the stars.
This is how I leave it tonight.
If Jah is watching this, No one can pull us down.
With a reminder, if Jah is watching thee from Plus Disturbance.
Jah is watching thee. No one can pull us down.
Inviting you all to join us tomorrow night as we close out the night shift week. Real talk. We continue what we started last week. Those things we can't explain, yeah?
When the thoughts of the current state is purposely misleading, while the core
Get your stories together. I want to hear them.
seems the mind has become a breathing ground for the guilty. We know the mind,
Get your theories together.
but without the heart, it is a weapon for the
I welcome you to share them.
never give the right to the wrong manner. Live forever happy life and a bad day.
Until then,
If Jah is watching,
Jah is watching thee.
no one can pull us down.
Remember, nobody can pull you down. My name is DJ Kevin Stew.
Jah is watching.
Tomorrow night we'll do this all over again.
As much as they will love
This was Healthy Love. As we rode through our musical therapy.
by the ear, but they still got to breathe. They wanna gain control of the
Catch tomorrow at Real Talk. Right after Marlon and Real Rockers.
Girl, without a reciprocity, you are a slave to it. Only the organics got the kind.
Remember to catch D-Walk. Donnie Walker, WGLRO.
These are the things I've seen. These are the things in
Tomorrow morning on WGLRO. 6 a.m. Eastern till 10. Clinton Lindsay on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Midday till 3 Eastern. Marlon Real Rockers, 7 until 10. On many platforms. I'm out of here. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you, wherever you are in the world, from right here in South Florida. I bid you all a good night.
After years in the valleys of the war, some on the greedy. When the thoughts of the current state is purposely misleading, while the poor pirates getting bigger, building on them cities. Seems the mind has become a breathing ground for the wilted. I know the mind is the greatest tool, but without the heart, it is a weapon for the greatest fool. Judge, I will never give the right to the wrong man. Live forever happy life and a bad meditation. If Jah is watching there, no one can pull us down. As much as they would love to see us fall to the ground.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.